Hello everyone, I'm Ossama, and today we're going to be performing a high-intensity interval training class. What this class does is it puts you up against intense workouts for a certain amount of time with very little to minimal rest periods. And what this does is it increases your heart rate, intensity level, and it helps you get a quicker workout in a much shorter period of time. Now, an important thing to remember throughout high-intensity interval training is it is a vigorous workout, meaning that you are going to have to get medical clearance or doctor clearance if you have any heart conditions, medical problems, or any symptoms of those sorts. Just make sure you get that checked out before you do start. But if you feel like you're ready to go, then we can get started. The very first thing that you want to do when performing a high-intensity interval training class is you want to make sure you take your resting heart rate. That can either be done through the radial artery or through the brachial artery. And what you do is you take the heart rate for 30 seconds and multiply by 2. That is the heart rate that you're starting out to begin with. That's your resting heart rate, that's where you are normally. And this is used to monitor your heart rate throughout as you progress through the program. So once you've done that, what you're going to do is you are going to start with a slight warm-up. And our warm-up is going to consist of slight exercises that are not as high of intensity as the rest of the workouts are. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to start out with just a 60-second jogging in place. And what you want to make sure you're doing throughout your jog is you want to make sure you keep the core tight, your posture up, and you want to make sure that you pace your breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. You don't want to overdo yourself during the warm-up because that is the part when your body is getting ready for the rest of the workout. Your heart rate is increasing. And this is the part when the blood pooling in your legs is going to start forming as you perform higher intensity exercises. 10 more seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to move on to our next exercise, and this is known as stance jacks. Stance jacks, you're going to start in neutral position with your feet just wider than shoulder width rather, and you are going to go down into squat position as a jump. And you're going to jump up. You're going to go down, and you're going to jump up. Go down, jump up. And it's just that simple. It's called a stance jack. And what you want to make sure you do is that you're squatting properly. You want to make sure that your knees are not going past your toes, your core is still tight, and that you're not arching your back or bending. Monitor your breathing. If you feel like this is too hard for you, slow it down. This is just to get your body ready for the explosive workout ahead. 10 more seconds. Our next workout that we're going to do is known as mummy kicks. Mummy kicks is a great full body workout and it gets your whole body going. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to have arms out straight and we're going to cross them as we are kicking out. So you can tell why it's called a mummy kick. And we're going to do this for 30 seconds rather. We're going to make sure that we're alternating our hands up and our hands below. Keep the core tight. Breathe slowly. Don't overdo yourself. Our next warm-up is going to be in 5 seconds, which is going to be butt kicks. Butt kicks are self-explanatory. You're going to try to get your legs up as high to your butt as you can. As you are performing this, keep the core tight, keep the posture up, and we're going to do this for 30 seconds. Pace the breathing. And if you need to slow it down or stop it, that's absolutely fine. The most important thing in this workout is to continue at your own pace and do not compete yourself with anybody else. Our next warm-up is going to be high knees. The exact opposite of butt kicks. Instead of going back, you're going up. And you're going to be alternating. Simple. and it's getting your body prepared. You want to make sure that the power of the high knees comes from lifting from your core, not just throwing your knees up into the air. So we got 15 more seconds. And all right. Now this is the time when our warm-up is over. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take a 30-second break. And it's only 30 seconds because this is how high intensity interval training works. Feel free, grab a drink of water, take a breath, do what you have to do. But in 30 seconds, we're going to jump right into the exercise. The exercise, how it's going to work is we're going to do 6 different exercises, and we're going to repeat that circuit one more time. During your resting periods, you should be taking your heart rate 15 seconds and multiplying it by 4. So as we're coming back, we're going to get into position for our very first exercise. And our very first exercise is going to be regular jumping jacks. This is going to increase the explosive stability of your body as your full body is working out. And we're going to do this workout for 60 seconds. Ready? And go. Keep the core tight. Never compromise form. And keep breathing. Most 3 important rules of high intensity interval training. Keep breathing. And our next exercise is known as football sprints. Football sprints are going to work out your calf muscles and your shins more than anything else. They're known as wide football sprints because what you're going to do is you're going to put your hands out and you are going to sprint as quick as you possibly can with your feet. And when I say go, you're going to drop down into push-up position and you're going to come back in. Stand up and do the same thing. And we're going to do that for another minute. Now this one is a very tricky one because it takes a lot of energy out. So what you're going to do is if you feel like you need to pace it, that's absolutely fine. The important thing is do not hunch over. Make sure you stay up. Keep the body positioning. Drop down, drop in, and continue with the football sprints. Drop down, drop in, and continue with the football sprints. And if you need to, make it a little hop. Slow it down, keep the breathing, go down, in, and football sprints again. Our next workout is going to be exactly what we did, but at a quicker pace without the sprint. So we're going to perform burpees. Our burpees are going to be hands up in the air, go down, out into plank position, back in, and up. Now, when you're going down and you're kicking your legs in, you're going to get into a squatting position almost. And you're going to push yourself up to jump. If you can't jump, that's absolutely fine. What we ask of you is come up. If you feel like you can jump, jump. If you feel like you can't, that's absolutely fine. Go down, out, in, up. Down, out, in, up. And that's how you perform a proper burpee. You want to make sure that when you go back down, your butt isn't in the air and it's not too low. You're going to keep your body parallel. Your arms are going to be shoulder width. You're going to go in and you're going to jump up. Down, out, in, and up for a minute. Now our next exercise is going to be known as the 1-2-3 Heisman. Now, the 1-2-3 Heisman is going to require the most room of all your workouts, which isn't much. What you're going to do is you're going to take 1, 2, 3 Heisman. 1, 2, 3, Heisman. 1, 2, 3, Heisman. Now, the most important thing to remember about this workout, is that you are going to crunch your knee in. You're not just gonna throw it up. You want to crunch down to it, tighten the core, bring the opposite arm up, almost as if you're kneeing someone. And you're gonna go in, other side. And once you establish your rhythm, this workout becomes easier and easier. If you can't do the stepping, that's absolutely fine. You can always do just a regular Heisman. Instead of stepping 1, 2, 3, you can just 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we're going to keep going with the Heisman. And at this point, it's okay to be sweaty. And you're going to keep performing the 1, 2, 3 Heisman. And after that, we're going to perform another kicking move. This one, again, core power. You're going to have to keep yourself centered. You're going to have to keep your form in a powerful form. So you're going to put your hands on your hips, and you're going to go a little less than squatting position, a little more than squatting position, I should say. What you're going to do is you're going to go down and kick from the other side. Go down and kick from the other side. Go down and kick from the other side. And it's simple as that. You can grab your belt, which is why they're called belt kicks. It's also a very popular karate move. And you're going to kick straight. If you feel like this move is too intense for you, what you can do is you can have them standing up still. So you're going to stand straight and you're going to kick forward from the core. You never want to just lift your leg. You keep the posture up, the core strong, and you're going to kick. You go to the other side and kick. Other side, kick. And we're going to keep performing that move. If you feel like this move is too easy for you, you can add a squat into the move. You can, of course, always add weights. You can always add a weighted vest on and perform this move with body weight as well. And we're going to keep performing that. And another important thing to remember about this move is that you never want to go too wide and have a tear or any damage to your hip flexors. If you're going too wide and keep your balance on one leg, you're putting too much pressure on a knee. You want to make sure you're in power position, feet just past shoulder width, squat down, and you're going to kick. Squat back to that side and kick. Our next move is going to be floor sprints. This is our last move in the circuit. Take a minute break, come back in, and we're going to go at it faster. So, the way to perform floor sprints is you're going to get back into the position of the plank. So what you're going to do is you are going to bring your knee in and other knee in. And you're just going to sprint as fast as you can on the floor. This is why this is known as floor sprints. Again, a lot of core power and high intensity in lifting. And you're going to keep pushing, and keep sweating, because this is what it's all about. And if you feel like this move is too much for you, you can always take a break. You can always slow it down, so long as your form is proper and you're working the same muscle groups. You can always, always, always pace yourself. We're going to continue with that move. Then we're going to take a minute break. Again, you should be taking your heart rate. You should be getting a sip of water, getting a breather, loosening up your body, doing a couple of stretches, not too many static stretches, a little more dynamic, loosen it up. And when we come back in, we're going to attack this workout for real. I had to catch my own breath. Now, our first move, as we're coming back, is the jumping jack. Jumping jack, pretty basic, pretty easy. Everybody knows how to perform it. If you feel like the jump and the jack is too high, too much for you, you can always slow it down. You can always bring it in, down, out, down, out, down, out, down. Or if you feel like it's too much for you, you can always perform a modified version of the jumping jack, where you push your arms up, but you want to make sure to get this move properly done, it's going through your abdominal muscles. Your obliques and your transverse abdominis should be working the most when performing that muscle. Okay, so now we're going to attack our workout. We're going to have a minute worth of jumping jacks. 3, 2, 1, and go. These types of workouts can most certainly be done by counting repetitions instead of counting time. But that's the purpose of high intensity interval training, is that you get your workout based on how much time you have. High intensity interval training is great for people who don't have a lot of time in their day. And this is the perfect way to do it. 10 seconds. All right. Our next move are the football sprints. We're going to attack these for 30 seconds. So we're going to go up wide. 3, 2, 1, go. As you can tell, this move is very fatiguing. Meaning if you need to slow it down, if you need to take your break, if you need to change it up, that's fine. But you got to make sure when I say go, you drop it down to a burpee and you back up sprinting. Go. 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 Slow it down. Slow it down. Slow it down. In. Out. 15 more seconds. Down. In. Floor sprints. Burpees, rather. Come on, 2 more times. Out. And great. Next exercise, we're going to go right into it. This butt kicks. You do not want to give yourself ample time to stop. Reason being is you want to make sure your body does not get used to resting too often. High intensity interval training is very best at that. You're kicking your butt. You have 20 seconds. Keep the core engaged. Keep the arms loosened, either just below at your sides or held up in running position. And you're going to keep kicking the butt. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're going to go right into high knees. Again, feel free to slow it down. If you feel like you can't go too quick, bring it up and slowly begin to pick up the pace until you have a slight hop in between. And once you do that, you can keep it going. You can have high knees with your arms at your sides, or you can engage the core more by having your arms in front of you, bringing it into your arm. $15 more seconds. You want to keep the core engaged. Get those legs on fire. If you're not sweating, you're not working hard. Simple as that. 3, 2, 1. Our next exercise is going to be burpees. So, out, in, up, out, in, up, out, in, up. A lot of people call these workouts suicide jumps. You can see why. Ten more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and up. Next exercise, 1, 2, 3 Heisman. We have the belt kicks. We're going to go over into our cool down. So remember, 1, 2, 3 Heisman, 2, 3 Heisman. And up, 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 up. I realize that the little hop step gives you a little bit of momentum and a little bit of rhythm. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and belt kicks. This is a great hip flexor workout, but again, you want to be careful with it. All the push comes from the core, not just from the legs. If you can't go, it's fine to take a rest, as long as you hop back in. Keep your workout. Even I'm getting tired. Ten more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and breathe. Get a break, get a sip of water, take a drink, do what you have to do, take your heart rate, make sure that it's not above your heart rate max, make sure that you're still good, still feasible, able to work. Now, our cool down is going to consist of a lot of static stretching, along with some dynamic stretching, so that our body doesn't go from complete working to stopping. So, when we come back from our break, we're going to jog in place once again, get the body loosened up, jump it out, make sure that your body's loose and good, and that these workouts weren't too high intensity for you. And you're going to start jogging in place. We're going to do this for 30 seconds. This is when your breathing should start returning to normal. If you're not jogging in place, that's fine. As long as you step, keep the rhythm going, and get the breathing to go back to a normal state. Your heart rate should be getting lower. You should be relaxing more. 8 more seconds. We're going to stop. We're going to take our arm, and we're going to put it behind our head, and we're going to grab our elbow with the opposite arm, and we're going to pull back. And we're going to do this for 30 seconds. And this is a great stretch for the upper back, the shoulder, the chest, the tricep, really the entire region. And the reason we do this is burpees, floor sprints, everything that we got going today targets these muscles along with the lower body. We're going to switch it up, and we're going to go to the left side. Now, certain exercises we didn't do twice. because we're going to make sure that our bodies aren't too fatigued to a certain point. We want to make sure that our legs aren't working a lot more than the rest of our body. This is in a lower body resistance class. This is a high intensity interval training, mostly cardiovascular. So it's full body, but it's intense. A lot of endurance, a lot of quick speed. Now our next stretch is going to be our feet together, and we're going to bend down and we're just going to stretch our hamstrings. We're going to as far down as we can. And we're going to breathe in. And then breathe in. And as you exhale, you're going to get lower and lower. And you grab the back of your ankles if you can, your toes, and you pull in. And you want to make sure that your hamstrings are getting a really, really good tight stretch. 10 more seconds. Our next stretch is known as a hip flexor stretch. This is a little bit challenging, but it's going to work your hip flexors more than anything. What we're going to do is we're going to have one foot facing outward as you're standing in the anatomical position, and the other one is going to be perpendicular to it. So this is how it's supposed to look. And you're going to bend down to this side, and you're going to touch the floor. Push your arm straight up, and you're going to look up. And at the same time, your elbow should be pushing your knee outward, as this arm is trying to open up back. And we're going to breathe. And we're going to come up, and we're going to switch it to the other side. Move it low. Open up. And you're going to look up. Push the knee outwards. And breathe. Come up. We're going to open our legs wide. Get to our last stretch. Go as low as we can. Get the hamstrings and the hip flexors to stretch out even more. You want to make sure whatever body part that you work out, you're stretching as well. Stretch. And then let your arms hang. And you're going to come up. Before you come up, you're going to bring your legs in together. You're going to walk it back. And you're going to pull everything up. Have your head be the last thing to come up. And you're going to take your arms. Breathe in. And breathe out. In. And out. In. And out. All right, now shake it off. You just got through some high intensity interval training. This was one of the slightly smaller classes, but if you do this for a full-on workout, you're guaranteed to drop a lot of weight. Thank you.